It looked like a charming story right out of a storybook. An up-and-coming music producer happens upon three adorable singing chipmunks and adopts them, turning them into superstars. Little did the world know that behind the scenes, things weren't like a happy dream, they were more like a nightmare. Tonight on Fakeline News, we present Davy, Dearest. Dave Seville was an up-and-coming music producer who was struggling to find talent to jumpstart his career. When he happened upon three singing chipmunks, he knew he had found the answer to all of his problems. Even better, the chipmunks were orphans, so they could be easily persuaded into doing whatever Mr. Seville wanted. Soon the three chipmunks, Alvin, Simon, and Theodore, found themselves adopted and signed to a lucrative recording contract. At least, it was lucrative for Dave Seville. He acted quickly to push the boys into the recording studio, having them sing backup to him on his song, The Witch Doctor, which provided middling success. The drunken Seville reportedly lashed out at the chipmunks before, during, and after the session, shocking the background musicians with his behavior. David blamed the chipmunks for the song not charting as high as he thought it should. Their initial failure brought about a new round of verbal abuse from Seville, who threatened them with homelessness. The drunken, dismissive Seville never even bothered to memorize the names of his so-called sons. Instead, he made them wear bizarre dress-like tunics embroidered with the first letter of their names. That way, he could easily tell who he was yelling at and berating. David quickly put a new single into production, the Chipmunk song, which would be a Christmas release. The session was marred by David's constant arguing and criticism of the boys. The producer was so disgusted that he purposely left the more mild abuse in the song, certain it would turn the world off to the boorish Seville. At first, Seville was incensed, threatening lawsuits and beatings. With the records already pressed, he was loath to recall them, and they went out to stores and radio stations. Despite the parts where Seville was criticizing and yelling at the boys, the song did well, propelling them to the stratosphere. Soon, the boys found themselves at the center of an empire. There were toys, television shows, and even more album releases. These chipmunks were a true Cinderella story. Behind the scenes, however, they were forced to work long hours on their various projects, often with a hectoring, critical Seville shouting at them. He barely fed them, insisting that they needed to stay trim. This caused problems for the stocky Theodore, who often was forced to smuggle food. Seville cruelly worked this into a recurring joke about Theodore's weight and fondness for eating. Soon, however, the wheels fell off the chipmunk empire. David blamed the boys, making things worse for them. The vain and conceited Seville decided that maybe if he had a facelift, things would improve. Despite their young ages, he then forced the boys to do it too. Post-plastic surgery, the boys relaunched their act. It was an amazing success, getting them back on television again. This time, they came back bigger than ever, getting big-name guest stars on their show like Dolly Parton and Mr. T. The presence of celebrities on the set gave the poor kids a respite from Seville's abuse. We wanted to present Mr. Seville's side of things, but he repeatedly refused to talk to us, even slamming the door in our faces. Around the time of the boys' return to fame, Seville decided that their act needed new appeal. He found that appeal in the home of a senile old woman who had taken in three young chipmunk girls. Their senile guardian signed a horribly one-sided agreement, and the girl rivals to the chipmunks were born, the Chipettes. Mr. Seville forced the girls to mimic the boys, therefore they needed a cool one, a nerd, and a fatso. Poor Eleanor was forced to gain weight by a relentless Seville, who also made Jeanette wear glasses to keep up the charade. Their first outing with the Chipmunks was The Chipmunk Adventure, a film that put them in perilous situations. Eager to bring the film in below budget, Seville forced the cast to perform their own stunts, leading to some dangerous situations on the set. Rumors of Alvin's death due to a stunt gone wrong were rampant. Despite the evidence presented by conspiracy theorists, such as the visual differences between these two shots of Alvin, no evidence exists of Alvin's death and replacement. Today, the once mighty empire created by Mr. Seville is in decline. Sources tell Fakeline that all those involved are now suing Mr. Seville for fraud, and that he has gone into hiding. He certainly wouldn't speak to us, nor would his representatives. The Chipmunks and Chipettes are equally evasive. Gag orders issued by the judge prevent them from speaking to the press. The allegations presented here were gleaned from court records and sources close to the Chipmunks. Their current whereabouts have been kept a mystery for safety reasons, though it is widely believed that Alvin has been in a drug rehab facility and Simon has become a fervent Scientologist. No matter where they are these days, we can only hope that they get closure for their traumatic childhoods. Fakeline News is produced by Ralphland Productions. Visit us at www.fakelinenews.com.